Are you thinking about relocating to Cary, North Carolina and wondering what it's like to really live here? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what it's like to live in Raleigh's most popular suburb. Cary, North Carolina is known for being a great place to both work, live, and just really enjoy life. It's always recognized for having safe neighborhoods. We have excellent schools here, a very strong job market, and wonderful weather throughout the year. So it's no surprise that Cary has earned numerous accolades throughout the years. And today I'm going to give you some of the reasons why a lot of people are moving to the area. I'm going to give you a full breakdown on Cary neighborhoods, the job market here, some of the parks and greenways throughout Cary, as well as some of the dining, shopping, and events, so you can see what it's like to really live in Cary. Hi, I'm Trish with Dare Realty Group, and thanks for stopping back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm a local real estate agent here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, and I help people from all over relocate. So keep watching as I cover everything that makes Cary such a top destination for so many people moving to the Triangle area. These are things that you want to know before you decide to call Cary home. No home search would be complete for those looking to move to Raleigh, North Carolina without considering the suburb of Cary. Well, first of all, Cary is the largest suburb of Raleigh with over 190,000 residents. It's actually tripled over the last 25 years. And so, as you know, it's been very, very popular. It's also the largest of all the suburbs. It has about 61 square miles of area that is spread out along the outside of Raleigh. And Cary is popular for many reasons, but the biggest one is location. See, in Cary, you're located about 15 to 20 minutes from Raleigh-Durham International Airport, which makes traveling easy for both pleasure and work. Plus, you're located within 20 to 30 minutes of two major downtowns. That would be our capital, Raleigh, and then the Durham area. Also, what makes the location of Cary very attractive is that it's located between major highways such as US 1, I-40 and NC 540, making getting around the Triangle very easy. And a bonus to the location is that it is situated between the states, so you are 2 hours to the beautiful beaches of Wrightsville and about 3 hours to the gorgeous Blue Ridge Mountains, making it easy and convenient if you wanted to get out of town for the weekend. But I would have to say the biggest attraction for people that are moving to Cary in regard to the location is its proximity to Research Triangle Park, which is home to over 385 companies, and it is the area's biggest employer, employing about 55,000 people. It houses big name companies such as Google, Cisco, Biogen, GlaxoSmithKline, just to name a few. It is actually one of the largest tech and biotech hubs in the country. In fact, sometimes the area is referred to as the Silicon Valley of the East, and we do get a lot of people that are moving from California to the area. And yes, Apple still plans to build. They announced that a couple of years ago that they were going to invest about $1 billion into a new campus. Despite it being on pause, they still, as of this video, have plans to come to the area. And then additionally, Cary itself has a very strong job market, and it's growing. In fact, within Cary itself, there's some major employers. So there is SAS Institute, which employs over 5,000 people, and it's headquartered here in Cary. And then, of course, there's Epic Games, which is the creator of Fortnite. They employ about 1,000 people locally in Cary, and there's also some other companies such as American Airlines, Lord Corporation, Verizon, John Deere. So you can see that there's several large companies either within Cary or, as I mentioned, in Research Triangle Park. So that brings a lot of people that are relocating here because the job market is really good and they are high-paying jobs. Let's talk about housing. The average price point in Cary as of this video is $677,000. So that is much higher than the national average, which is right around $375,000. And really what the driving force of that higher median home price is its location. As I mentioned, it's very convenient to Research Triangle Park. And because of that, we've had so many people move to the area. They've relocated here for high-paying jobs, and that has pushed that price up over the years. However, when we look at median household income in Cary, it's $129,000. So when you compare that to the median household income of $75,000, Cary homes may be 66% more expensive than the national average, but Cary's incomes are 72% higher than the national average. So in short, even though it costs more to live in Cary, it offers higher earnings potential, especially for people that are coming in here or being relocated for jobs. Currently, there are about 177 single-family homes on the market in Cary, and they range from $355,000 for a 1,000-square-foot home up to $8.6 million for a sprawling estate on Lake Anna that's over 9,000 square feet and sits on several acres. If you're curious to see what $677,000 gets you in Cary, this would be an example of a couple of homes. One thing worth mentioning if you are looking to relocate to Cary, North Carolina, there's not a lot of new construction within Cary itself. Most of the new builds are happening either in established neighborhoods like McGregor Downs or around downtown Cary, where some of the older homes are being knocked down and newer homes are replacing them. If you are looking for new construction, you may have to look further south into the towns of Holly Springs, Fuquay Varina, Willow Springs, and some of those that are south of Cary or to the west or east. If you're looking for a larger home, there's several options across Cary and several great neighborhoods. If you're looking for something older, you're looking for a country club lifestyle, you're going to be looking at neighborhoods such as McGregor Downs, which is older homes. Again, I mentioned they are building some newer homes in there. They're knocking the older homes down, as well as Preston, which you'll find a lot of variety within Preston, from smaller homes to large estates. That is also a very big neighborhood with many subdivisions, also a golf and tennis and pool community. Another golf course option would be Lockmere, which is a semi-private golf course. The homes in Lockmere are going to be older as well, very wooded neighborhood, beautiful. Picture a traditional neighborhood with lots of trees and very traditional type homes. And then if you're looking for something a little newer, you're going to want to look towards West Cary, such as neighborhoods such as Montvale, Copperleaf, that are large executive homes. Also out in West Cary is Cary Park and Amberley, which is going to give a variety of different homes. And then of course you have Regency, which is located within the central part of Cary, and that's also going to give you some options for some larger estate homes. And there's also several neighborhoods around the Regency area that offer a very beautiful traditional executive style home. And make sure you check out my last video that I just put out on Cary's top 3 luxury neighborhoods. You can find the link right here to watch that video. Now let's talk about parks and recreation. If you're someone who loves to be outside, you're going to find lots of options in Cary. Our weather lends itself to being outside, and in Cary, there's no shortage of area parks and recreation. In fact, Cary has a greenway system that's over 80 miles long, from one area to the next without ever having to go on a public road. In fact, Cary is very proud of its greenway system. It was a planned system to connect all areas of the town. And then when it comes to parks, there are about 30 public parks scattered throughout Cary with all different amenities. Most of them have walking trails. Some of them are more sports related, so they're going to have baseball fields, soccer fields, things like that, tennis courts. And then you have a lot that have walking trails and lakes. One of the bigger parks is Bond Park, and Fred G. Bond Metro Park is about 310 acres. There's a large lake where you can put pedal boats out there. You can get a canoe and paddle. There's also an amphitheater. Over by the lake, there's a boathouse, which is great. You can sit outside, have lunch. There's lots of tables. It's a really beautiful spot. It's situated on the lake, and it would be great for a wonderful afternoon. And then, of course, throughout the park is walking trails. There's baseball fields, volleyball courts, pretty much everything you would expect in a large park. And it's centrally located. The other big park that just recently was built is in downtown Cary, and that's going to be more of an urban park, but it's worth noting on this video because it is such a unique park. It's located in downtown Cary. It has walking trails. There's a splash pad. There's also an amphitheater there and a green area for concerts. located by the park is a coffee shop that you can pop in and get coffee. There's also a small bar there that's called the Bark Bar, and it's situated right next to the dog park. So you can have your dogs run around in the fenced area, and you can sit at the outdoor bar, have a beer with friends while your dogs run around, which I think is something very unique. I haven't seen that in any other park in the area. And then when it comes to other activities such as golf, tennis, pickleball, Cary has plenty of that as well. I already mentioned some of the golf, McGregor, Prestonwood, Lockmere. There's also a public golf course. It's a par 3 golf course that you can go out to. It's called Knights Play. You can go out there. They actually have lights so you can play at night. So that's also a good option for somebody who's not wanting to join a private club. And then of course you have, for tennis, there's several tennis courts throughout Cary, the largest being Cary Tennis Center, which has 32 tennis courts. 7 of them are covered, plus it has pickleball courts. And speaking of pickleball courts, as you know, that's become so popular. Cary has plenty of pickleball courts. There are about 45 courts across 15 different parks scattered throughout Cary. Next, let's talk about the schools in Cary, because of course, one of the major attractions to coming to our area are our schools. Cary is part of Wake County school system, and it's one of the best in the state. And in fact, some of the schools that are in Cary have received numerous awards as being top tier schools and always are ranked very high. And so because of that, a lot of people that are moving to the areas will call me. I've had several clients call and ask me to look in certain neighborhoods because they wanted a particular school. Now, word of caution, a lot of our schools can be capped because of the demand. So it's always best to check with the school and check with the grade to make sure that the grade that you're looking for is not capped. Also, Wake County is notorious for rezoning. So that's something also that you need to be aware of. Just because a school is zoned to a particular neighborhood doesn't mean it may be the case in future years. So if that's important, it's definitely something you need to look into. People are moving to the area because they want their children to be in these top tier schools. In addition to our great public schools, Cary also has private schools. There's some within Cary, and then of course in the surrounding areas, which are not too far. And then additionally, we do have charter schools and magnet schools. There's something for everyone within Cary. And then additionally, of course, we have wonderful universities that are close proximity to Cary, rounding out that our education system here is very strong. Interesting statistic is that 69% of the population has a bachelor's degree or higher. Cary's cultural scene is also very strong. There's the Cary Arts Center located in downtown Cary that has several events throughout the year. There's also Cocoa Booth, which is an amphitheater located in Cary, and it's one of the only amphitheaters that's located within one of the suburbs of the area. So that makes Cary a little bit unique. Cocoa Booth Amphitheater is one of my favorite places to go. Not only is it beautiful, you walk through a windy path with beautiful tall trees, and it's set back amongst the pines. It's just a gorgeous setting on the lake, but it's also really nice because it's a smaller venue. In fact, it only holds about 7,000 people. But it does bring some headliners, such as coming up, we have Kool and the Gang, Toad the Wet Sprocket. There's been several bands that have come through. They also host the NC Pops, as well as some other events throughout the year. In the summer, they'll do Movies on the Lawn, which is really great. 2 of the biggest events that they host at the Cocoa Booth, one of them is over the winter time. It's the Chinese Lantern Festival, and that runs for 8 weeks from right before Thanksgiving until January. And that's just amazing. These Chinese artists have created these beautiful displays that light up. So it's a nighttime event. You go in there and it's just incredible. The other event that happens at Cocoa Booth is the Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue Festival. And that's a 2-day festival of pure Southern fun. It's beer drinking, bourbon tasting, bluegrass listening, and barbecue eating. And it's a great time. You can go out there. Usually the weather at that time is just wonderful. So it's a beautiful time to be outside, be in Cocoa Booth, be out on the lake. They have a beautiful sitting area that you can sit at, and it just makes for a lovely weekend. And Cary itself does a ton of things throughout the year. In fact, here's a link to the Town of Cary's website that you can go on and see all the wonderful events it does all year. One event that I wanted to talk about additionally is Lazy Days Arts Festival, and that's a long-standing Cary tradition. In fact, it's celebrating its 49th year this year. There they have over 250 vendors that come in. They have 4 stages with music, they have food trucks, a beer garden. So it's really a great time. That happens in downtown Cary. And then finally, when it comes to shopping and dining around the area, Cary does have several shopping centers scattered throughout the town. The newest and most upscale would be Fenton, and that's in the beginning phases. The first phase has opened, and you'll find retailers such as Lululemon, Free People, Madewell, Williams-Sonoma, Pottery Barn, just to name a few. There's also an Our House Furniture within Fenton, and then there's several different dining options. There's a Crawford & Sons, which just recently opened, a Brewery Bavana, M Sushi, Coletta's, just to name a couple of restaurants. There's also a movie theater in Fenton, and then they also have some apartments. So it's a growing area. I expect that we'll probably see some more retail come that way. And it definitely is a great spot to go and walk around. It's all outdoor shopping. There's even a grass area that in the summer they do things like concerts, and then in the winter they turn it into an ice skating ring. So great little plaza. It was a great addition to Cary. I was happy to see it. And then additionally, Cary of course has what you would expect in any mid-sized suburb throughout the town, several shopping plazas where you're going to find stores such as Ulta, Dick's Sporting Goods, Target. Worth noting about Cary is its ordinances when it comes to commercial. Cary does keep a very low profile when it comes to commercial development, meaning that you're not going to drive through the town and see things such as billboards, large signs, big complexes. In fact, a lot of the shopping plazas are set back off the road, in the trees, so you have to drive into the plaza. They're well screened by vegetation, so it really makes driving through Cary very beautiful. In fact, there's actually an auto mall with a couple of different auto dealers along Highway 64 in Cary. And Highway 64 is a divided highway. It's not really a highway. There are stoplights along the way. But behind there is the auto park, but it's shaded, it's screened by these tall trees along the road. So you don't even know the car lots are there until you pull back off the road and drive into the car lots, which makes Cary even more beautiful and desirable as a place to live. There's also some dining options in downtown Cary. They're starting to add some more down there as the redevelopment happens in downtown Cary. You're not going to really find too many shops in downtown Cary. You might have a boutique here and there. It's mostly restaurants and small breweries that you're going to find in the downtown Cary area. And then, of course, throughout Cary, you're going to find several different restaurants in some of the other plazas. Well, that about wraps it up today for Cary. So what do you think? Do you think Cary's the right fit for you? Well, if you want upscale homes, a place where the economy is booming, strong schools, amazing outdoor living, beautiful weather, and a sense of community, Cary should be at the top of your list when you're thinking about relocating to the area. Once again, I'm Trish Dare, and if you're thinking about relocating, I would love to help. Feel free to reach out. You can schedule a consult via my website, Dare Realty Group. I'll leave a link in the chat below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos about what it's like living in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.